Simeon has overseen a significant growth in applications, the best record of bar passage in 3 decades, and the naming of Willamette as a best value college of law. He has also expanded and diversified the faculty, initiated significant renovation efforts, and increased gifts and operations for the endowment. And like all great deans, he leaves the College of Law far stronger than he found it.
We were pretty clear that we needed a strong leader for the law school. There was no doubt in anybody's mind that the law school at that time was on a decline. By every measure, our performance as a law school was not meeting the expectations of the trustees or the expectations of the university, and so we needed a strong leader, someone who had the character, the strength, and the leadership to turn the law school around.
He seemed really dignified. He seemed very well prepared. He knew a lot about Willamette. He came to the interview having really thought about the situation that we were in, where we ranked in relationship to our peers, what some of our challenges would be, and a sense, I thought, of where we needed to go.
He's among my closest friends. We have worked tirelessly together to make Willamette a better place. And we have consoled each other during the tough times, and we have rejoiced with each other during our successes.
Simeon had a warmth about him. He has both a seriousness of purpose and sort of a good-humored warmth. I think I could even see the Zorba in him, even at that time. Simeon is so productive and so prolific with his scholarship that I doubt many people would know, just by meeting him for the first time, how much fun he is and what a fantastic contribution he is to a dinner party, what a gracious host he is.
In the course of our discussions with Simeon, we learned that when he was at Harvard, he was required to go back to his homeland in Cyprus, which was at war with Turkey. And they gave Simeon a helmet, a gun, and some bullets, and said, "You're in charge of this group." And I think that he lost a number of members of his unit, and we figured, you know what? If he can deal with those Turks, he can provide leadership for this faculty. And we think we've got the right person in Simeon, and you know what? We did.
The fact that he is such an outstanding scholar has trickled down, if you will, and impacted the other people on the faculty. And I think also the fact that he is such a well-known scholar enhanced our reputation just right off the bat when he decided to become our dean.
One of the major issues he had to deal with when he arrived here was the problem of student achievement, particularly in connection with the bar exam. Our bar pass rate over the last 8 years has consistently been above the state average. We've had several years where it's been way above the state average. And I think the academic standards that Simeon has set, and by placing, he's placed the bar high, has caused students to work harder and achieve at a higher level, and I think ultimately the proof is in the bar passage rate that we've seen. So while some of these things may not be, they may not win him a lot of friends among the students, or at least the students who are subject to them, I think in the end, when students pass the bar exam and they look back, they're quite satisfied with the product they got, and I think probably feel that a lot of these rules that they didn't like very much at the time really did work out benefiting them.
We've seen improvement in all aspects of how the law school does and is performed. The students are performing well. He's attracted and retained outstanding faculty, and been a fundraiser like no dean in the history of the law school, resulting in endowed chairs and I think a stronger institution certainly than it was when he arrived.
Frequently the policies would have a negative effect on a student, causing them to maybe have to repeat a year of school, and a lot of students were disgruntled about that. However, as students took the time to go in and meet Simeon, they found out that he was extremely accessible to all students, and students could never leave Simeon's office without being won over by him.
During Simeon's tenure as dean, I've had the privilege of hiring a number of Willamette students as law clerks. They are incredibly intelligent and sharp academically. They've had a very fine education. They come to the Supreme Court ready to make a contribution to the work of the court.
Simeon was the youngest in a large family, all of whom took good care of Simeon, kept an eye on Simeon. He has a brother who pushed him to college. He had the same brother who pushed him to Harvard to go pursue his graduate legal education at Harvard. That doesn't happen in most families. I mean, I think Simeon's stories of growing up, the food they grew, the animals they raised, how meals were done, sounds modest, compared to the life he lives and we know today, but I don't think they were wanting in any way. It's really what else was going on in life. War with the Turks, war with the British. His father was a political prisoner. I mean, family troubles were about real life events and not about how they made their life.
I remember when he first came here, he told us a story about when he first came to Harvard and studied at Harvard and got his SJD. And I recall that he told us that he didn't really speak English when he first got here.
When they would assign him reading for the night, he would read a case and he would have to highlight all the words that he didn't know so he could look them up. And he said he'd get through this one case and he would have 60 to 70% of it highlighted. And to me, I just thought, wow, this guy's incredible. So fast forward to now I'm editing his work, I'm going through and helping him with his articles and things like that and editing his writing. And now I'm having to highlight words that he's used that I don't know, and I'm a native English speaker.
I've never seen anybody who works any harder. He'll stay up all night when he has a book or a manuscript that he has to finish. On holidays and weekends, I live next door to him. I notice that he's not outside, throwing a ball around or doing yard work. He's inside his house in his den working, and he is someone who truly loves what he does.
As far as I can tell, he does 3 jobs very well. He teaches, he's the dean, and he has his scholarship and his consulting. And everything he does well. So he must get by on very little sleep.
He doesn't sleep many hours straight. He'll catch a nap every now and then on an airplane. He works all the time. He's itchy to write. And as a result, sleep becomes sort of the last item he pursues. I'll tell you one thing he tried, but I don't think he's going to continue with. I don't think Simeon's going to be a golfer. He threatens to try and learn to play, and he did go out and play with us one day, but golf wasn't his sport.
If I send Simeon an email on a Sunday morning at 7 a.m., I know that he will respond within 5 or 10 minutes. If I send an email to him at midnight on a Saturday, I know that he's going to respond within 5 or 10 minutes. And oftentimes I've had to say to him, Simeon, go home. Go home, leave your office and go home and put aside your work. Give your lovely wife a hug and a kiss and enjoy the day.
I think that he really does a great job of trying to bring the school to new heights of achievement on a consistent basis. I think he does a really good job also of creating a sense of community.
Simeon's leadership is respected in Oregon. I think it's respected by the other law schools and the other institutions. It's certainly respected by our firm. We have a lot of Willamette grads, and I think that Simeon has done wonders, in effect, in perpetuating that goodwill during his tenure as dean.
It's just an easy topic of conversation that people will say, oh, Willamette College of Law, I've heard of that. Isn't Simeon Simonides, the dean there, who's the foremost expert in a certain kind of international conflicts of laws?
I actually just told a friend recently who I suggested to go in and talk to Simeon about law school and a legal career. Simeon is incredibly accomplished in everything that he's done in his legal career, and he has a brilliant legal mind.
When Simeon came and said, I want to step down, I said, don't do it. We need you.
I'm really glad we got this guy for dean. In fact, I wish I could take credit for it. But of course I can't. I didn't have anything to do with bringing him on board, but I'd love to be the person to say, yeah, this is my hire.
If you are around Simeon and capture his enthusiasm and passion for teaching and for having law students that will perform well in the community, there's no question but the Willamette's a great place to be. I wish I were a student again.